Alright, I think I fixed it. God. Yeah, that wasn't murderous at all. Good God. I think so. You tell me. Depression, are we good? You hear me? We're cool. I'm moving. You can, no freaking out, no none of that crazy crap. God, that was madness, dude. Yeah, I think we bet. That don't want to make you lose your damn mind at all, does it? I hate computers. Good God, I hate computers. All right, Irina, there we are. Sorry, Mr. CPTP. I forgot. You were stating earlier. Came just as you stopped. That's all right, Norm. I ain't worried about that. I'm just glad you made it, dude. Glad you considered making it. Yes, and now the feed is going over there, which is cool. Outstanding. Well, now that I finally got all that figured out, I don't have a whole lot of builds going on, but I do have something pretty special that I got to get done. Thought I'd walk you guys through it. Maybe you guys will enjoy it. Let's see if at least I got this part to work. Hey, looky there, looky there. So, needless to say, this guy has definitely seen better days. A very sweet lady named Tammy reached out in our local groups, and she had this see if that helps some. There we go. She had this old jewelry box, and at the end of the day, it's not a very expensive jewelry box. It's not anything crazy like that. But what she told me was it was special to her. It was something that was given, and she had to get out of a really bad situation really quick. And because of that, looked like she took a bit of a hit. We got a hinges got jacked up. She got a little messed up here. So I'm gonna do my best to try to get her back together for her. Thought maybe you guys want to be part of it. So whenever I'm going to try to do some repairs for somebody, the first thing I want to do is I'm going to take a look at what kind of materials I'm looking at, the extent of the damage. As you can see, we've got a hinge that went through pretty bad ding up here. This side it just ripped the screws clean out. So we can start with getting this guy apart. Figure out where we're going to go from there. We're going to need a little Phillips. Try to assess some of the damage and see what we can't do to straighten it out. While I'm doing so, I figured I'd stress again some of the decisions I made while I'm at this. There's our lid free. Needless to say, I got me a workboard here with a pretty high contrast piece of fabric. That's going to help me keep track of all these little small parts. So that they don't get lost in the blur of all the beige. That hinge has definitely seen better days. It's alright though, we're going to take care of it. We'll get it knocked out. Let's get this hinge off the other side. Then we can start making assessments as to what else we're looking at. Is everything still running fine? I'm sorry about all the tech problems, y'all. Thanks, Norm. Appreciate it, buddy. Can I make a Kangol? I guess. If I find out what a Kangol is, I bet you $1 I can figure out how to make one. If somebody else made one, I can too. This is pretty indicative of these less expensive jewelry boxes. The threads are all gummed up with the material from here because this isn't actually made of wood, it's made of a composite. Looks like it's MDF, but that's alright. It doesn't matter what it was made of, it's special, so that's all that matters. We'll get this lined out. That hinge looks like it's in pretty good shape, so I think we're good to go there. Doesn't look like it's bent. Doesn't look like it's bent through. I think it just got sheared when the screws came out. This guy is definitely going to be fun. Yeah, we got the pin out. As you can see, these guys are pretty bent up. So we'll find us some ways to straighten them guys out. And maybe we can realign the barrel, get that hinge put back together. I'm being very gentle with this, because I don't see any cracks in the little sintered metal that this is made out of. That doesn't mean they're not there. And going hog wild with this would be a good way to tear it up and break it. Trying to make sure you guys can see okay. Right here, one of these hinges is bent up higher than the other one. So we'll try to rectify that real quick. See if we can get them back in line. Yeah, just a little squeeze put us right back in line. That's good. Good to see everybody today. I hope you guys are having a pretty relaxing Saturday. Yeah, this guy's definitely, yeah, it took an ass whooping, didn't it? What I may do is let me find. Instead of moving everything around, what I need is my track anvil. So kind of flatten that out some. Maddie, good to see you. Norm, Depression Talks. Get in now. Tell me about your Saturday. How's it going, guys? Hopefully you guys are getting to chill and relax some. What I did was I got myself just a regular old claw hammer with a smooth face. And I'm going to use that as a little bit of an anvil to let me straighten out some of the dents. And I'm also going to take after it with a very small brass hammer because I don't want to end up causing more damage by being too heavy-handed with it. I'll show you guys what I'm doing. This guy's all bent up and wavy. So I'm going to take him. I'm just going to use this hammer as a little bit of a tiny anvil. Flatten out some of these steep bends. Irina is from beautiful Russia. They are not bad, Palato. How are you, friend? They're not doing very bad at all. Alright, so we got some good progress. We got this side of that little hinge flattened out. We do got a little bit of work here because it looks like it got pried and bent during the impact. So let's see if we can gently work that back into line. I think we're going to be in good shape. Now we'll start trying to fit all this. See how it comes back together. Rough day, huh? Sorry about that, Pilato. Fixing small items like this is a patience game. Every bit of it is a patience game. You can't, you're not going to be able to rush your way through this. Which can sometimes be a challenge for me because I'm not exactly the most patient guy in the world most times. Yes, you are. You are literally on the opposite side of Earth from us. Which is good. Doesn't matter. I'm glad you're here. Okay, so we're bound up. We're going to try to use the pin as a method of being able to set this hinge back the way we want it to be. Because the pin was relatively straight, so that means with the pin being as straight as it is, that's going to let us be able to realign all of these barrels for the hinge and get them back in position. So we'll use the pin as a bit of a guide. You can see that's bent just a touch. So let's go ahead and try to tap this guy down a little better. Okay. So it looks like we managed to get the hinge back together, which is good. We still got a little bit of work to do to get the flex out of it. With this old sintered metal, sometimes you got enough just with hand pressure. Hinges, especially ones this small, it doesn't take a lot. A little bit goes a long way with this guy. It's tough to see for you guys, but I can tell I've got a down and up, a down and up. So I got to do a little bit of tweaking work here. Oh, and that was more than enough right there. That was great. Okay. So we've been able to rescue the hinge, which is good. Means we got a pair of functioning hinges now. We're good to go there. So much up the camera here. There, you guys can see better. Okay. Now we know inspection, we don't see any cracks. The joints really came apart, so we're good there. All this looks like in good shape. The problem is that because this is made of MDF, the screws just pretty much they just destroyed everything that we had going on. So we'll have to use a bit of filler or some clever means to get us something new for the screws to bite into. We also are missing a couple of screws, so we're going to have to find replacements for those, and then we can get work on the aesthetics maybe. See if I can find a way to touch up that paint so it's in better shape. Place to start. Just caught up in the watch display case I've been wearing when leaving the hardwood. My car wouldn't start. Oh man, that's rough, Lotto. I'm sorry, dude. I'm going to end up using Weld Bond, which is phenomenal adhesive. If you guys aren't familiar with this stuff is absolutely incredible. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get me a little piece of drop and some sawdust. I'm going to do the sawdust and glue trick to get those holes refilled. You guys can't even see what I'm doing, can you? I grabbed an old license plate that I can use to mix on top of because it's not going to really stick to this steel. The other thing I've done here is I've rated my first aid kit. Got one of my splinter removal picks, because that's going to do a really good job of helping me tap this in really, really precise. We'll refill these holes. The good news is that the Weld Bond dries clear. If you guys can see what I'm doing at all. Let me pay attention to the screen a little better. Thank you to all my friends from YouTube that have showed up. If you're tuned in from Twitch, welcome. You guys just want to enjoy the kind of ASMR watching me do this, that's no big deal. But I would encourage you to know that I do have a pretty robust and incredible YouTube community that would love to get to know you if you chose to. It's filled in really well. All these repairs and minor restorations, I promise you, a little bit just goes a long way. Now, why am I filling in all these holes? It's because when this for those of you that haven't done it before, when this glue dries and cures, it's going to give me a rock solid place to re-engage a screw when I put it back in place instead of the walled out MDF that was there. Oh, I just noticed that we got us a little defect right there. Looks like maybe when it got bashed it pushed the screw all the way through. We'll have to fix that too. We'll get her though. It's looking like it's working really good. Get that shoved down in the hole. Don't you do it. I know where your brain was about to go. As soon as I heard shove down the hole come out of my mouth. Stop it. What you can't see is that I'm using this just to create enough of a slurry of adhesive and sawdust that sticks to my pick. Hey Charlotte, good to see you. We're fixing a jewelry box. And I feel bad because this young lady actually asked a few other people if they would fix it. And I think the thing that spurred me into doing this, above all others, was a guy said, I'm not going to do that because that thing's probably worth $5. It's not worth fixing. You know what? It don't belong to you. It's not up to you to tell you what it's worth, to tell me what it's worth to me. Especially if somebody needs to, something like this happens during a situation like we're talking about where they had to get out of a bad spot and they had to do it fast. That's a pretty traumatic thing to do. And I bet you $1 that fixing this little box, I don't care if it's worth 50 cents or $50 or 50,000. This little box was one way before all of that happened, and then it changed. And it was damaged, and it was wounded. Maybe a lot like her. So seeing this thing get made right, maybe in its own little stupid way, makes her right. Makes her feel a little more right. And who am I to say that doing that isn't worth my damn time? clearly worth something to her. She ran around to 2-3 people trying to get it done. While this cures, we'll take a look at the aesthetic problems here. You got a good ding right there and a good one there. I'm going to be able to touch up a little bit of this paint too. Kind of get rid of this wear. Definitely take care of these chips. Take care of the little ding it looks like. If you can see that, it looks like when the hinge was shoved, the screw protruded out the other side and kind of popped this apart. So let's see if we can't get some of that back into place. That all shoved right back in where it went. It's all good to see you, buddy. All right. When I get this thing back together, I want to make sure the clasp still clasps as it should. And with that doing that, then we can inspect back here. What I'm looking for is with this clasp put together like so, when I look at the reverse, I can gauge whether or not these hinges have been knocked off kilter. If they're not aligning in pretty decent squares, then that's a pretty good indicator that even though I've got this put together, something has been knocked cattywampus on this end too, so I'll have to address that. But I think we're in good shape. I think we are. Hi, Rachel. Good to see you. Aloha. Okay. That's looking like it's going to be okay. So now let's talk about these screws. These suckers are microscopic. I mean, they're itty bitty little screws. And they've been gunked up with the material when they got ripped out of place. Absolutely, Triple J Solutions bestowed gifted memberships on many people last night, to which I am many thankful. I will pass on the sentiment. For those of you that don't know, Rachel Aloha, I bet you can't guess where she lives. Her and her wonderful husband or significant other, forgive me, I didn't mean to make a presumption, Wago, are working together on a music school in Hilo, Hawaii. And Norm, if it tells you anything, let me just vouch for it this way. Wago knows more about music theory, I bet, than you forgot about contracting. That man will sit there and spout off entire encyclopedias about music theory at 100 miles an hour. And by God, you better keep up. Because he's got no plans of slowing down anytime soon. I love him for it, though. I like learning things very quickly. What I'm doing is I'm trying to, it's very difficult to see these threads are gummed up with the material of the box. So it looks like during the original manufacturing process, what they did was they dabbed super glue on these and then screwed them into place, and it picked up the sawdust, caked it up in the threads. Oh no, Rachel, I love it. I absolutely love it. I have a spicy brain, and for those of you that aren't particularly familiar with somebody with spicy brain, don't mean to be rude about it, but one of the things we're thinking all day through just about every conversation we're in is, if you're talking, we're thinking, good God, hurry up. We already figured out what you're trying to say like 30 seconds ago. We're just waiting for it to fall out of your face. Could you please hurry up? So when Wago takes off at about 30 miles a minute, I'm sucking it up, man. I love it. That would be a bad time to drop a screw. Perfect. Okay. So now we can take some assessment of what hardware we got left. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hinge screws. So I'm going to need to replace 3. I raided in here and I found the smallest ones I had, which it looks like I've got 4. But they are quite a bit longer than what I need, which is good, because that means I can take a side cutter and I can cut them down to the right length. Any of you guys ever tried to take on a repair or a restore project like this? How'd it go for you? I'm going to get a good eyeball of about how long I need that screw to be. Oh good, I'm taking it right in half. Perfect. Since these are brass, they're pretty easy to cut. This is one of the more honorable things I love being able to leverage my skill set toward. Because again, I mean, I'm not known for being a hokey, really big mental health advocate. But I could put myself in their shoes and I could see how this thing coming back together is important. I had to take my first repair for a client in September at our farmer's market. acacia wood cutting board, full length, linear brake, barely hanging. Oh man. And like I said, some of this stuff is really minor stuff. I mean, we've all had a panel come apart, you know? But to somebody that doesn't normally do it, it seems like it's almost an insurmountable issue. So even though it's relatively simple for us, it certainly does mean a lot for them. And gluing that board back together probably put a smile on their face more than you'd ever thought, which was cool. One of the things I keep for repairs like this is I actually have a machinist drill index, which lets me have really small size. As a matter of fact, that's still too big. Really small size drill bits. So I'm going to step down probably to a number 48 drill bit. All right, Rachel, thank you for stopping in, man. Now for this here, this is a really delicate process. I'm not having to go very far with it. I don't have to drill very deep. And it's not a very big hole. That's what she said. So I'm literally probably just going to put this in a pair of locking pliers. And manually just clean those out to get myself a new pilot. Yep, that was more than enough. Just a couple of twists. And I'm not going as deep as the screw would go. I'm just taking off enough for me to be able to start it. So that any residual adhesive and sawdust can be kind of form shaped around the screw when I finally put it in place. So all I'm doing is literally just cleaning out a wallow right there. That's just enough to let me get my drill started, or to get my screw started rather. I'm not even, I would be shocked if I'm going 2 millimeters in. I'm just barely even giving myself a divot. Just enough of a pilot hole. Leave that, let it cure for a minute. I know it's a little bit ASMR, a little bit silly, but I hope you're enjoying it. I'm certainly getting a kick out of doing it. I got some touch-up paint, which is going to be a challenge because I'm actually colorblind, so this is silly to ask, but if you had to assign a color to that, what name would you give it? Given that this is sort of Asian style, I'm saying maybe burgundy. Is that what you guys would call that? Yeah. Color correction might be messing it up some or something. Mahogany, okay. Rusty red, okay. Funny hack that I like to use. Because of my color blindness, I actually rusty red. So it's not brown, but kind of mahogany in between. So like 180, 65, 10, maybe something like that. What I'm doing is I'm trying to determine what RGB code it is. For those of you that don't know, all of your computer monitors, of course, they all run off ones and zeros because that's how computers roll. So in order for it to display a particular color on the display monitor for you, it will give what's called an RGB code. It uses red, green, and blue, much like the old school televisions. When you looked at them really close, there was a red pixel, a blue pixel, and a green pixel. And then it would assign strength values to each of those three in order to make the color that you're looking for. So that RGB code, you can, once you figure out what that is, you can kind of use that to proportion how much red, how much green, how much blue, and get really, really close to what you need to be. About 2 flat pack nightstands is that color. They called it cherry. Okay? So heavy on the red with a little tinge of brown. I'm saying like 1, 5, 15, 10, 65, 10, somewhere around there. So now, let me show you what I mean. I'll pull it up on the phone just a second here. That's a little off. AF2 FOD, which is rusty red, which would be 185, 65, and 14. So that tells me that I need little tinge of blue, about 6 times that amount in green, and then 3 times the amount of green in red. Small Woodlot, how you doing, brother? So now, given that I'm colorblind, we're going to RGB it. See how close it gets. There's a little piece of plastic. Soldier, you getting out of here? Take care, buddy. Thank you for stopping in, man. So we need A little dab of green, a little dab of blue. 6 times as much green. And then 3 times the amount of green in red. Find myself a stir brush. Join the club of being colorblind. You know, it's funny because you say that you're colorblind and about 5% of the population goes, oh man. What's the other 95% do? What color is this? And then they hold up some arbitrary fucking thing in front of you like you're supposed to magically be able to tell them what color it is. It's the dumbest damn reaction I've seen to anything, really. But it happens. What are you gonna do? What color is this? I don't know. What color's your eye after I've dotted it? Ding dong. Get all this mixed together pretty well. And I might be off, but I've been doing this kind of color matching whatever for years. My wife is at work, so thankfully I've got you guys on chat. To act as my eyeballs. Did I get pretty close? How far off am I? Probably take it off to a shade towards brown. So I need a hair more blue and green to go more brown. Let's mix that up. See how that changed things. Am I there now? What do y'all think? Salud, Coco. Being colorblind. I am working on mixing colors to fix this. Yeah, okay, perfect. Coco thinks I'm pretty spot on. What do y'all think? All right. You're right. We'll run it on a piece of paper. let it dry out and see what happens. So we'll hold off for a little bit, let this dry. That should let us be able to repair the outside pretty damn close. And remember where I set my touch detail brushes, because the inside is simple, it's black. We can just touch that up right now while we're waiting on the color true to match. Coco has a wonderful channel, guys. He actually his stream is in French, but I believe Bulgaria, right? What's up, big dog? And he makes beautiful gaming boards, beautiful backgammon boards. They're absolutely gorgeous. You guys should definitely check him out. And go give him a like and a sub and all of that stuff, because he earns it. Heidi, how are you, dear? Good to see you. I got the poop hat on because I've been kind of busy. Hold on a minute. Where the hell did I put them paintbrushes at? This is probably reorganizing shop, then you're reorganizing and you forget where the hell you organize yourself. Like I remember where the other thing was to begin with. That's neither here nor there. I don't want to hear it. Ha! I remember. I put them in the logical place, right next to the laser, because that's where paintbrushes go. Dumbass. All right. Big Max, how's things going on in your neck of the woods, man? Let's get some black tempera. Take care of this crack inside. Oh hell, I'm gonna change cameras. There we go. Let's see if we can touch that up. When you're making these kind of repairs, you want, if you got to do something that's bold, like do a cover up like this, fade it and feather it out to the side, much like you're painting a patch on a wall, because that's going to help blend in. You don't want any edges to the area that you painted. You want it to kind of blend in and disappear, so you feather it out. That's going to make that guy all but disappear. I mean, you can see a little bit of the indentation, but at least it's not glaring like it was. Thank you for sharing his link. Appreciate you, brother. Let's do even better. Big Max is a mod. Now you can do what he's doing. Share your channel, show the love, whatever you want to do. Alright. I think that this is a good candidate right here for testing our paint, because it's inside the lip and it's kind of hidden, and because this is black, if it doesn't turn out right, then we can certainly go back and we can hide it by just painting all this black, which we'll do at the end anyway. What do you think, guys? Think we nailed it? Hell, I'm colorblind, but I can't even tell. We got another little area right here we can touch. See what happens. I agree, Norm. I think we're in a good spot. So let's go ahead and try to apply some to these big holes. See what happens. See how I'm feathering it out to each side. Follow along. You can see a brush stroke where somebody painted it with a wide brush, and I want to follow that grain if I can, because that's going to help me hide it. Blend it with my finger. At least now I don't think it's as glaringly obvious as it was. What to do? What's up, Mike? Good to see you, Mr. Wilson. How's life on the island, man? We got a little bit of texture to this too, so I'm globbing some paint and then using my finger to kind of mimic that texture. Helps make some of this disappear. Gotta do what we gotta do. I ain't kidding. Now we'll do a little more touch up around the edges. Try to hide some of that wear that happened. I don't want to take it all off because it's a sign of, this is silly, I mean, it's a sign of the patina of its age. At the same time, I want to kind of mute it a little bit so it just doesn't look like it's just been banged around and shit. I want to make that look a little bit more like natural wear. Kind of mutes it out a lot. Makes this thing look a little bit better. And we'll let that marinate for a little bit. Fun fact with these little bitty brushes, I know this is going to sound strange, but the best way to clean them is while it's still wet like this. Just pinch your finger, twist it, and literally just wring all the paint out of it. Comes out clean as it was. You're good to go. All right. The part that I've been sort of dreading. Let's see if we can't get these damn hinges back in. I got too much goop around these holes. So that is possible. Try to take just the smallest bit of that away. So that the repair isn't so glaringly obvious. This part may be tricky if you're ever going to try it, because I've been doing this long enough, I kind of got a touch for it. But because this is MDF, it's essentially paper. So you got to be really precise with your blade to be able to get in between the original paper layer to pull it away cleanly. Much better. Daisy Mae, good to see you. Like I said, for those of you that are just joining in, it's silly that to some folks, that I'm fixing a made in China MDF jewelry box. But this guy has got a bit of value, a bit of sentiment value for the lady that had it. And she'd just like to see it back like it was before everything happened. Alright, so we got all of that extra taken off, which is good. Let's So we can't do about the rest of this over here. This I rubbed really clear, so there wasn't much to get rid of. I wasn't as heavy-handed on this side. And I'm not being perfect with it because I know that some of this is going to be covered by the hinge. I want to be able to give myself the best opportunity to get this restored as it was. Some of the excess removed there. We're good on this side. Take a look at what cleaning we got to do on the lid. Not much. This is where I finally got it through my thick head that I didn't need to be so heavy-handed with it. So this is taking a real delicate touch, but what I'm trying to do is get in between the adhesive mixture that I added in the original finish layer. Removing the former and preserving the latter. Good, good, good. Coming off nicely. I said the immediate area around the hole I'm not really all that worried about, because some of that's going to be camouflaged hidden under the hinge. I do want to make it look a little bit more presentable. Before I start reassembling things. Hold on, small little dot, I can't read that. Let me see. What did everyone accomplish today? For me, I found the Kubota Art E900 transmission, removed the broken bolts, finished painting the bus. All on my back is out. That's a pretty slow day. When you can get off your ass and actually do something? Jeez, dude. Alright, I want to revisit these hinges and make sure. I don't like how that one's still. So I'm going to try pin and all just to give it a little bit of a bend back toward its original shape. That I was all off camera, wasn't I? I wasn't doing a damn thing. I went for a good old walk. Got myself a lovely bit of oak. Got started on making a bowl. Do it to it, man. Tear it up. 1 second, guys. Got a call coming in from Mrs. Macon. Let me mute this real quick. Be right back. Alright guys, well, that is my son who's at work. I'm gonna kind of put the hammer down on getting these hinges back on so that you guys have a bit of catharsis. Because I gotta go pick him up apparently. He's got a nosebleed that won't quit. So let's do it to it. The good thing is our slurry has essentially cured. And with cutting those screws, what we've basically done is turn them into miniature taps to cut new threads as we bury them back where they belong. Okay, change of approach. Tampon, stop, boy. You got jokes. I made another 100 member benchmark, so I will be doing another member giveaway soon. You guys stay tuned for that. Got gifted a membership. Absolutely welcome, man. I know I'm in a big old hurry trying to get this done now. My boy's sitting up at the workplace waiting on me. Okay. So here's the plan. I'm going to set this loose. I'm going to drive these to set the hinges until it's all flush. But then I'm going to leave it loose, because if you remember, we put that slurry where the holes used to be, and this will give that time to cure around the screws. Get nice and hard, so we're good to go. But voila. We are back and good to go. Sorry guys, I expected to go a little bit longer, but I got to cut this short. My boy's literally bleeding. I got to go pick him up. I'll try to jump on another live in a little bit. Love you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for hanging out, man. I'll catch you guys later on this evening. Take care. Be good or be